Folks, we have some big news this afternoon. Today, we learned that the Trump administration took down a federal monument located within the ATF that honored victims of gun violence. Now, you may think, well, the Trump administration doesn't support gun violence prevention tactics, they don't support gun reform, and that may be true. But when you look at the monument that was taken down in the ATF, it tells a different story. This monument included the portraits of 120 Americans who were killed, including children and including police officers. These people were killed in the line of duty, and there was a monument displayed at the ATF that has now been taken down. Meanwhile, right now, the threat to media, well, it's at an all time high. Today, FCC Commissioner, the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, who, by you may know, actually was the author of the Project 2025 chapter on the FCC, said that he is considering revoking the license of CBS News as part of the ongoing litigation between the Trump administration and CBS News, and that it's not just a threat, but it's a penalty under the Communications Act. If CBS were to found to be liable under the Communications Act, they violated the Communications Act, and Brendan Carr said that he will likely work to revoke the broadcasting license of CBS. Now, like I said, this is a major threat to media, and as an independent journalist, I need your support now more than ever before. So please consider subscribing to my Substack by clicking the button below, or supporting my work by sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. Your support is invaluable and allows me to continue doing this free from corporate sponsors and despite any and all threats coming from the Trump administration. Today, Speaker Mike Johnson was asked about Donald Trump's comments about kids possibly getting fewer toys this year because of tariffs. And he said that, we need to shake up the system, that it was necessary to achieve the right outcomes. He believes that short term impact is worth it to achieve long term goals, essentially short term pain for long term gain. We'll see if the Trump administration's economic policies come to fruition. Whether or not Speaker Johnson is right will be determined in the next several months and likely by the end of this year. So we'll see how tariffs impact whether or not children are getting less toys or not. Today, the Trump administration announced a new program offering $1,000 to undocumented migrants who agree to leave the United States voluntarily through the CBP Home app. This $1,000 would be given upon arrival to their third party country. Now, there is no legal recourse, truly, that these migrants would have if the Trump administration just decided not to offer them the $1,000. And in fact, to go into this app and to provide information essentially opens them up to potential deportation on their own. So there's a lot of skepticism over whether or not this policy will actually come to fruition, whether or not it's good policy or not, and whether individuals will actually take up the administration's offer to send $1,000 in cash. So we'll see what happens. Today, states led by Democratic attorneys general, filed lawsuits to stop the Trump administration from weakening various health agencies. In addition, a hacker has breached Telemessage, which is an Israeli company that modifies messaging apps like Signal to use in the federal government for US government use. Now, here's why this is significant. This Telemessage company modified the Signal app that was used by Mike Waltz, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Susie Wiles, and other individuals in the Trump administration, and a hacker was able to hack the app. Now, the hacker was not able to get any information from Mike Waltz's phone or any of the other Trump administration officials' phones, thankfully, but nonetheless, it just shows that these Signal platforms are not good or not secure enough for a top government official like Pete Hegseth, like Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, the Secretary of Defense, to be using to spread sensitive information about highly classified war plans. Today, the Israeli government, the Israeli War Cabinet, approved plans to take control of the Gaza Strip and remain there indefinitely. According to reports, this new incursion into Gaza, this new occupation of the Gaza Strip, will not begin until after Donald Trump visits the Middle East sometime in mid-May. Some veterans are raising doubts about Representative Corey Mills, a Republican from Florida. His claim that he earned a Bronze Star by rescuing them, with at least one saying, quote, "He didn't save my life." The report was published by Notice today and adds to growing questions about the accuracy of his military record and the story behind his award. Now, Georgia Republicans and national Republicans got some bad news today. Brian Kemp, the Republican governor of Georgia, who's extremely popular in Georgia, actually, and was long seen as the leading contender to take on Jon Ossoff in 2026. Well, today he announced he's not running for United States Senate, which opens the door for none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene to run for that Georgia seat. And folks, let me tell you something. Jon Ossoff's best dream is a Marjorie Taylor Greene opponent, not a Brian Kemp opponent. Polls had shown that if Brian Kemp had run, he would likely be the favorite to take Georgia's seat and make it red. Well, now Marjorie Taylor Greene is not the favorite against Jon Ossoff, and it's looking increasingly likely that Georgia's Senate seat will stay blue. ProPublica has been awarded the 2025 Pulitzer Prize for Public Service for its investigative series titled Life of the Mother, which exposed how abortion bans in several U.S. states have led to preventable deaths of pregnant women. The reporting highlighted cases where doctors, fearing legal repercussions, delayed or denied urgent medical care, resulting in fatal outcomes. Ann Talneas, a Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist, resigned from the Washington Post earlier this year after the newspaper declined to publish one of her cartoons. Today, she won another Pulitzer Prize. Her illustration earlier this year, if you recall, depicted prominent media and tech figures, including Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, kneeling before Donald Trump, then President-elect Donald Trump. Talneas stated that this was the first time her work was rejected due to her viewpoint, calling the decision dangerous for a free press. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth directed the Pentagon to reduce the number of senior generals and admirals by 20%, which in his effort is to aim to streamline military leadership and eliminate redundancies. We'll see if that actually happens. Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, said that opening Alcatraz as a detention facility should be on the table, backing Trump's proposal to use the historic island for holding dangerous offenders. Now, Donald Trump never said that he would be using Alcatraz as a detention facility. If he does, that would be a significant escalation in their mass deportation efforts. We'll see what happens. And finally, Donald Trump claimed he didn't know where an AI-generated image of himself dressed as the Pope came from, despite having it posted on his own Truth Social. He told reporters in the Oval Office that, quote, somebody made it up, and insisted he had no idea about its origin, though he admitted seeing it the night before, and said that Melania Trump, the First Lady, thought it was, quote, cute. Just days earlier, Trump joked about wanting to be Pope, and the image, which showed him in the papal robes, was not only posted to his platform, but was also shared on the White House Twitter account. Folks, that's all the news right now. If you want to support my work, click the button below, become a paid subscriber to my Substack today, or consider sending a one-time donation to my Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. Your support, like I said, is truly invaluable, and I can only do this work thanks to all of you. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a travel day. I'm actually going to Arizona for the day to give a keynote address, my first keynote address. So I'm super nervous and super excited. So we'll see what happens with the news tomorrow, but stay tuned, and I will see you bright and early in the morning.